The axe forgets, but the tree remembers. African proverb. I never thought that quote would describe my life. Back then, I was just a 17-year-old kid packing for boarding school. Too naive to see the lies stitched into my family's smiles. Ethan. Sweetheart, don't forget your charger, Mom said. Folding my shirts like this was just another weekend trip. I still don't get it, I muttered. Why now? There's only a month left of senior year. Dad didn't even look up from his laptop. Because opportunity doesn't wait for convenience, he said, calm as ever. You've outgrown this town, Emma's voice echoed in my head. We'll graduate together, right? I promised her we would. Now, I was breaking that promise without understanding why. Mom touched my shoulder. You'll thank us someday. That school's going to change your life. I looked at her. Yeah, but what if I don't want my life changed? Her hands froze for half a second, a tiny pause, but I caught it. You'll be fine, she said softly. You re-smart, you'll make new friends. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the packed bags. Did you even talk to Emma's parents? She's gonna freak out when I don't show up tomorrow. Dad's tone sharpened. Emma will understand. That girl's been holding you back? Back? She's the reason I even want to do better, I shot back. His eyes finally met mine, steel behind them. Sometimes love blinds you, son. You'll see that one day. Mom stepped in quickly. David, not now? No, let him say it, I said, my voice cracking. You think I'm too stupid to love someone? He sighed. I think you're too young to know what love costs. The words hung between us. Outside, the bus horn echoed faintly down the street. Mom grabbed my suitcase and smiled like nothing had happened. Come on, honey. It's time. I followed them to the front porch, the night air thick and silent. Emma should have been there, but she wasn't. She didn't even know I was leaving. I took out my phone. I'm texting her. Mom snatched it gently. Let's not make this harder. Harder for who? I snapped. For everyone, she said, voice trembling just a little. You'll understand later. Wanted to argue, scream, run to Emma's house, anything. But I didn't. I got on that bus because I was too trusting, too obedient. As I climbed the steps, I turned one last time. Mom stood there in her cream sweater, eyes glistening. Dad's hand rested on her shoulder. Their silhouettes looked like safety until I realized they were cages. Call us when you arrive, Mom said. I forced a nod. Tell Emma she be fine, Dad interrupted. The driver coughed impatiently. I sat down by the window and pressed my forehead against the glass. The house grew smaller, the porch light flickering behind the trees. I whispered to myself, You'll thank us one day, Ethan. Her words rang in my ears like a curse. I didn't know that night would split my life in two, before the truth and after it. Because when my parents sent me away for school, they weren't protecting my future. They were burying my past. Home feels like a dream now, I told Logan, as I sealed another letter. Maybe if she reads this one, she'll finally reply. He glanced up from his textbook. Ethan, that's like your 10th one this month. Maybe she's just moved on? Emma wouldn't ignore me, I said, scribbling my name at the bottom. She promised we'd write every week, Logan sighed. You've been saying that for 3 months? I looked at the stack of envelopes on my desk, all stamped, all unanswered. You don't get it. She's not like other girls. She's human, he cut in gently. Maybe she's busy. Maybe your parents were right. You need to focus. I shot him a look. Don't sound like them, he raised his hands. All right, sorry. Just don't lose yourself over someone who's not writing back. I didn't respond. I walked to the campus mailbox, slid the envelope in, and whispered, Come back to me, Emma. Weeks passed. No reply. Each morning I'd check the mailroom, pretending I wasn't desperate. Every afternoon, I'd tell myself maybe tomorrow. One night, as I sat staring at the empty inbox, Logan joined me. Still nothing? Not even junk mail, I muttered. You ever think she might have moved? Her whole family just vanishing. That's not Emma, he hesitated. Maybe your parents know something. I laughed bitterly. Yeah, like they'd tell me the truth. A month later, I got a package in the dorm mail. No return address. Inside was a torn envelope, one of mine. The same handwriting, the same ink smudge, but stamped with return to sender. I froze. My name was scratched out. On the back, written faintly in pen, my dad's handwriting. Logan looked over my shoulder. "Dude, is that?" "Yeah," I whispered. "That's his." He frowned. "Maybe it just got sent home by mistake." "No," I said. "He must have stopped it. Why would he even have this?" "You sure? Maybe the mail system, Logan?" "It's his handwriting." I snapped. He lied. They both did. He stepped back, eyes wide. "Ethan, calm down." I paced the room, my pulse hammering. They said Emma moved away. They said it was for my future. But what if she didn't move? What if they made her leave? "Man, you're overthinking." "No," I said quietly. "I know my dad. He controls everything. Even love, apparently." That night, I called Emma's number. Disconnected. I refreshed her social media, nothing. No photos, no posts, no trace. It was like she'd been erased. I sat on my bed, phone still in hand. "She didn't just disappear," I murmured. "Someone made her disappear." Logan turned off his lamp. "Ethan, go to sleep. Tomorrow's a new day." I lay there staring at the ceiling. "You ever feel like the world's rewriting itself while you're still reading the first draft?" He chuckled softly. "That's the weirdest thing you've ever said." "Yeah," I said. Weird's all I have left. In the quiet, the truth started whispering in my head. My dad had intercepted my letter. My mom had lied about Emma moving. Every memory of home started to twist into something ugly. Every smile, every "we're proud of you," every promise that this was for my good. I whispered into the darkness. They didn't send me away for school. They sent me away to erase her. The words burned as they left my mouth, and for the first time since leaving home, I realized something terrifying. My parents hadn't just controlled my life. They'd rewritten it. "They say you can't step into the same river twice," I thought, as the familiar town sign appeared through my windshield. But this river hasn't changed, only I have. The streets look smaller, like time had shrunk them. The same cracked sidewalks, the same half-faded store signs, but I wasn't the same kid who'd left. I was colder now, stronger, or at least I wanted to believe that. Logan glanced out the window. "So this is it? The place that turned you into a walking mystery?" I smirked. "Yeah, don't expect much. Just ghosts and bad coffee," he chuckled. "And parents who plan to welcome home dinner like it's some royal event?" "Exactly." I tightened my grip on the steering wheel. They love pretending. When we passed Maple Street, my chest tightened. My gaze caught the corner house, Emma's old place. The windows were boarded up. The paint was peeling like skin. My throat went dry. "Hey," Logan said quietly, following my eyes. "That hers?" "Yeah." My voice cracked before I could hide it. He didn't say anything after that. The silence between us said enough. The welcome home banner stretched across our dining room like a bad joke. My mom smiled too wide. My dad's laugh was too polished. Even the food felt rehearsed. Perfect, tasteless, fake. "Ethan, you've filled out," my mom said, brushing imaginary dust off my jacket. "College did wonders for you?" "Guess so," I replied, pulling away slightly. "How's business, Dad?" He grinned. "Booming, son. Right timing, right moves." "Yeah, you've always had perfect timing." I sipped my drink, keeping my voice even. "Speaking of timing, whatever happened to the Carters?" My mom's hand froze midair. The room went still. "Emma's family?" she asked softly. "Yeah," I said. "Their house looks abandoned." My dad cleared his throat. "Let's not talk about the past, Ethan. You're home now. Focus on the future." Logan looked between us. "You okay, man?" "I'm fine," I lied, forcing a smile. "Just curious." My mom placed her napkin down slowly. Her father had some issues. Business problems. They left town. Right after I did, huh? I asked. Strange coincidence. Ethan, my dad said, his tone firm. Drop it. I stared at him for a long second. His eyes didn't flinch. He was hiding something. I could feel it in my gut. Logan cleared his throat. The food's great, Mrs. Miller. She smiled tightly. Thank you, dear. Dinner ended with hollow laughter and half-eaten plates. The moment I stepped out of the house, I felt like I could breathe again. Later that night, I sat in my old room, same wallpaper, same creaky floorboards. My laptop glowed in the dark as I searched Old Town records. It didn't take long. Carter Industries bankruptcy filed. June 4th, Mark Carter fraud allegations under investigation. Miller Holdings registered. June 5th. I stared at the screen, my pulse pounding in my ears. The same week, the same day. My father's company was born from her father's ruin. Jesus, I whispered. Logan knocked on the door. You're still up? Yeah, I said, turning the laptop toward him. Look at this. He leaned in, eyes narrowing. That's the same month you left. Exactly, you think your dad. I don't think. I cut him off. I know. He made a deal. And I was part of the cleanup. Logan rubbed his neck. Man, that's heavy. You ruined them, I said quietly. And he sent me away, so I'd never find out. Logan looked at me for a long moment. What are you going to do? I shut the laptop, the screen snapping dark. Find out everything he buried. And if Emma's still out there. My chest tightened again, but this time it wasn't grief. It was rage, wrapped in control. I'll make him face what he did. They say curiosity killed the cat, but I never believed it until that afternoon. Mrs. Pierce? I called as I stepped into the small cafe downtown. She looked up from her cup of tea, eyes widening like she'd seen a ghost. Ethan Miller, she whispered. I almost didn't recognize you. It's been a while, I said, sliding into the seat across from her. You used to live next to the Carters, right? Her hand trembled slightly as she lifted her cup. I did. I drove past their house yesterday, I said carefully. It's empty now. Do you know what happened to them? To Emma? She froze, eyes darting toward the window. Your parents didn't tell you? My pulse quickened. Tell me what? Her lips pressed together. Oh, Ethan. She leaned closer, voice barely above a whisper. You should talk to Emma yourself. Emma. My voice cracked. You know where she is? Mrs. Pierce looked around, then slipped a folded piece of paper into my hand. Don't say you got it from me. What's this? An address, she said softly. Outside town. But be careful. There are things better left buried. I stared at her, confused. What things? What happened to her? She hesitated, eyes glistening. Ask your parents. They owe you the truth. My throat felt dry. I already know they lied to me. Her hand shook as she reached for her bag. Then stop digging before you find something you can't forget. But it was too late for warnings. That night the rain came down in thin. Endless sheets as I followed the old highway out of town. The address led to a small apartment complex near the edge of the woods. My headlights flickered against the rusted mailbox before I turned them off. I sat there for a minute, staring at the paper in my hand, my heart pounding like a warning drum. Then I got out and walked to the door. 3 knocks. No sound, Emma. My voice broke the silence. The lock clicked. Slowly, the door opened. She stood there, older, thinner, eyes hollow but unmistakably hers. For a moment, the world stopped. Ethan. She breathed Emma. Her name felt foreign on my tongue. Like something sacred I wasn't allowed to say anymore. We just stood there. The air between us thick with everything we'd never said. Her hand gripped the doorframe. You shouldn't be here. I had to see you, I said. I didn't know what happened. No one would tell me. Her eyes flickered with something between fear and sorrow. You shouldn't have come. Why? What did they do? Before she could answer, a voice came from inside, deep, masculine. Who is it, Em? Her whole body tensed. I glanced past her shoulder, but she moved quickly, blocking my view. Please, just go, she said. Double quotes, Emma. Tell me what's going on. Who is that? It doesn't matter, she whispered. Go home, Ethan. Not until you tell me why my parents lied. Tears welled in her eyes. Because they always get what they want. The door started to close. Emma, please. I'm sorry. Her voice broke. You were never supposed to come back. The latch clicked. For a second, I stood there, staring at the closed door, listening to the faint murmur of voices behind it. Then the rain came harder, soaking through my jacket, my hair, everything. I looked up at the apartment window, waiting for the light to flicker or the curtain to move. Nothing, only the echo of her voice. You shouldn't be here. I finally turned and walked back to the car. Rainwater running down my face like tears I refused to shed. That was the moment I knew. Whatever happened to Emma wasn't just tragedy, it was something my parents had buried deep, and I was going to dig it up. They say the truth sets you free, but that's a lie. The truth burns, and it leaves nothing standing. I stormed into my father's office that morning, slamming the door behind me. We need to talk. He looked up from his laptop, unbothered. Ethan, it's early. Can't this wait? No, I said sharply. I went to see Emma. His fingers froze above the keyboard. Emma, yes, I said, stepping closer. The girl you made vanish 7 years ago, sighed and leaned back in his chair. You don't understand what you're saying. Oh, I understand perfectly, I shot back. You lied to me. You intercepted my letters. You sent me away. What did you do to her family? His jaw tightened. Enough, Ethan. Answer me. I slammed my hands on his desk. What did you do? For a moment, he tried to hold his composure. But I saw at the flicker of guilt behind his calm mask. He stood, straightening his suit. Her father, Mark Carter, stole from my company. He forged accounts, took money that wasn't his. It's impossible, I said. Mark was a good man. Good men don't steal, he snapped. I gave him chances. He chose greed. I shook my head. You're lying. You always lie. Believe what you want, he said coldly. But your precious Emma's father put my business in, our family at risk. Then why destroy them? I said, my voice breaking. Why not go to the police? He exhaled sharply. Because I wasn't about to drag our name through scandal. We handled it privately. We paid them off to disappear. My blood ran cold. Paid them off? He looked away. They agreed. Money in exchange for silence. They left town. It was over. I stared at him, my stomach twisting. Over? You call ruining their lives over? He slammed his fist on the desk. I did what I had to do to protect you, to protect us. I laughed bitterly. Protect me? You destroyed the only thing that ever mattered to me. His expression softened for a second. You were 17, Ethan. You had a future. You couldn't throw it away for some girl from a disgraced family. I stepped back, shaking. You didn't protect me. You erased her. You erased who I was. You didn't speak. The silence between us felt heavier than any words. Finally, he said quietly, someday you'll understand. Never will, I whispered and walked out. Down the hall. My mother stood by the living room window, her eyes red. She'd heard everything. Mom, I said, voice trembling. Did you know? She didn't turn around. I wanted to tell you so many times, so you did know. Her shoulders began to shake. We couldn't let you ruin your life, Ethan. My life. I laughed bitterly. You already ruined it, she turned, tears spilling down her cheeks. We thought we were saving you. Saving me? I stepped closer. You destroyed Emma's family. You destroyed her. You destroyed me. Please don't say that. It's true, I said. Do you even realize what you did? You turned me into someone I don't even recognize. She reached out, but I pulled away. You were just a boy, she whispered. We thought if you left, you'd forget her. Forget her, I said, choking on my words. I wrote her for months. I begged to come home. You lied every single time, she sobbed harder. Your father made me promise. I thought it was for the best. The best for who? I asked quietly. For your company? For your image? For your comfort? Her silence answered me. I took a step back, feeling my chest tighten. You didn't save me, I said. You killed the boy I was. Her face crumpled as I walked past her. Outside, the wind hit my face, cool and sharp. The morning sun was rising, but it didn't warm me. I looked at the house, the place that once felt like home, and felt nothing but disgust. For years, I thought my pain came from losing Emma, but now I knew better. It came from loving to people who could bury the truth and call it love. They say truth burns brighter than any land that night. It burned through me. I stood outside Emma's apartment again. The same flickering streetlight humming above my head, the same chill in the air. But this time, I wasn't there for answers. I was there for honesty-mine. When she opened the door, her face hardened instantly. "Ethan," she said quietly, "why are you here again?" "I need to talk," I said, forcing my voice steady.
"Please."
She hesitated, then stepped aside. The apartment smelled like lavender and old coffee. I noticed a man's jacket on the couch. My chest tightened. She folded her arms. "Say what you came to say." I took a breath that felt heavier than my own body. "Emma, you deserve to know everything. What happened back then, it wasn't your fault. My father. He destroyed your family's reputation to protect his business." Her expression didn't change. For a moment, I thought she hadn't heard me. Then her eyes glistened. "I knew," she whispered. My pulse spiked. "You knew?" She nodded, tears trembling on her lashes. "Your dad came to our house. He offered money if we disappeared quietly. My father refused, but we didn't have a choice. I thought you'd come for me, Ethan." I waited, stepped closer. My throat dry. "He told me you left without a word." "I didn't know he'd stop," she said sharply. Her voice cracked. "You think it matters now?" "It matters to me," I said, almost pleading. "I didn't choose them over you." Her shoulders dropped. "Maybe not then. But you believed them, didn't you? You lived your life while mine fell apart." Before I could respond, a voice came from behind her. What's going on?" A tall man stepped into view, Jake. His hand rested on the doorframe like he owned it. My jaw clenched. "I'm fine," Emma said softly, glancing between us. "He was just leaving." "I'm not," I said, meeting her eyes. "I need to finish this." Jake frowned. "I think you already said enough, man." Emma put a hand on his arm. "Jake, please." She turned back to me. "I tried writing to you, Ethan. Every letter came back unopened. Your mother called me once. She said if I really loved you, I'd let you go." The words hit harder than any punch. I felt my heart twist into something unrecognizable. "She said that?" Emma nodded. "So I did. I let you go. I thought it would save you." I shook my head, voice breaking. "All it did was destroy both of us." She smiled sadly, eyes wet. "Maybe, but I survived. You should too." "I'm sorry," I whispered. "For believing them. For not fighting harder." Her lips trembled, but she forced herself to stay composed. "It's too late, Ethan." I moved on. Jake stepped closer, protective now. "You heard her." I wanted to argue, to scream, to make time rewind, but all I could do was stare at her, the woman I once promised forever to. Standing beside another man who now had what I lost, rain started tapping against the window. The sound filled the silence that swallowed us both. I backed toward the door. "I just needed you to know the truth," I said quietly, "even if it changes nothing." Emma looked down. "It changes everything, Ethan. Just not in the way you hope." I stepped outside, the cold air biting my skin. Behind me, the door clicked, shut, a final, gentle sound that felt like a verdict. The rain came harder. I didn't run. I didn't curse. I just stood there, letting it soak through my shirt until the anger, guilt, and grief blurred into one hollow ache. I realized revenge wouldn't bring back what I'd lost. It wouldn't heal what my parents broke. As the streetlight flickered again, I whispered to the dark, "They killed who I was, but they won't decide who I become." For the first time, I meant it. They say when truth meets greed, the world burns quietly before anyone smells the smoke. I was the one holding the match. "Are you sure about this?" Logan asked, his voice trembling as I hit send on the email. Too late to back out now, I said. They buried Emma's life for profit. Let the world see what it cost. He stared at the laptop screen, the leaked documents reflecting in his eyes. This'll destroy your dad. You realize that? I nodded. That's the point. Within hours, chaos erupted. My phone wouldn't stop, vibrating calls, notifications, breaking news banners. Local CEO accused of bribery and fraud, the headlines screamed. The Carters' names were everywhere again. Finally, not as villains, but victims. By the second day, reporters camped outside our gate. I watched through the curtains as camera flashes lit the driveway like lightning. My mom sat at the dining table, clutching a cup of cold tea. "Ethan, what have you done?" she whispered. "I told the truth," I said flatly. Her hand shook. "You've destroyed us. Your father sees losing everything." "Everything," I snapped. "You mean the empire built on someone else's ruin?" She flinched, tears spilling. "You don't understand, he did it for you." "For me?" I laughed bitterly. He ruined a girl's life so his son could grow up guilt-free? That night, the house felt smaller, suffocating. The walls echoed with the hum of televisions blaring my father's downfall. I sat with Logan on the porch, watching journalists swarm the gates. "You did it," he said quietly. "You actually brought him down." I leaned back, eyes fixed on the black sky. "Then why does it feel like I lost?" "Because you cared," he said. "Revenge doesn't end. The pain, it just spreads it around." I didn't reply. Inside, I heard my mother sobbing. The sound cut deeper than I expected. I wanted justice, not this hollow silence. The next morning he came to me. My father, David Miller, the man who once commanded boardrooms in cities, now looked smaller, older. His tie hung loose, his eyes empty. "Ethan," he said quietly, closing the door behind him. "You think you've done something noble? You think exposing me makes you better?" I met his stare. "It makes me honest." He shook his head slowly. "You destroyed your own family." I stood up, every word heavy. "No, you did that years ago when you decided money mattered more than people." He looked like he wanted to speak, but the words never came. He turned, shoulders hunched, and walked out. The door clicked shut, and with it, whatever remained of us. I sat there for a long time, staring at nothing. My phone buzzed again, messages from journalists, old classmates, even strangers thanking me for doing the right thing. But the praise felt hollow. Logan walked in, dropping a newspaper on the table. The headline read, "Miller Empire Collapses Amid Scandal." He sighed. "It's over." I rubbed my temples. "No, it's just empty now." Put a hand on my shoulder. "You didn't just take him down. You freed yourself." I glanced out the window where rain had started to fall, washing the world in muted gray. "Maybe," I murmured, "but I can't tell if I feel free or just lost." For the first time, I saw my reflection in the glass-tired eyes, clenched jaw. The ghost of the boy who once believed in love and family. I'd wanted justice. What I got was silence. Revenge had ended the story, but it had taken me with it. They say time heals everything, but I've learned time just teaches you how to live with pain. I found that out the day the envelope arrived, thin, white, with my name written in a handwriting I'd never forgotten. I sat at the porch table, same one where Emma used to sketch while I studied. The air smelled of rain and old wood. My hands trembled as I tore it open. Her voice came alive through ink. "Ethan, I forgave you a long time ago. Not for what you did, but for what you didn't know. I hope you've found peace." "I have. Jake and I are getting married next month. I wish you happiness, the kind we dreamed of once. Emma." I stared at the words until they blurred. Logan's voice cut through the quiet. "Is that from her?" "Yeah," I said, my throat dry. "She forgave me." He stepped closer. "Then that's good, right? Closure." I laughed softly. "Closure? It feels more like an ending I wasn't ready to read." He sat beside me, eyes scanning the empty driveway. "You ever think maybe this is what peace looks like? Not getting what we want, but accepting what we lost?" "I don't know," I murmured. "I spent so long chasing the truth, I forgot what peace even feels like. The wind picked up, scattering old leaves across the steps. My parents' house stood behind me, quiet and hollow, just walls and memories now. Logan broke the silence again. "Your dad ever try reaching out?" "No," I said. "And if he did, I don't think I'd answer." He nodded slowly. "And your mom?" "She left town after the scandal. I think she's living with her sister in Chicago. She sent a message once. Said she hopes I'm happy. Are you?" I looked at the sunset burning across the horizon, orange fading into red. "Not yet, but maybe I'm getting there." Logan smiled faintly. "That's something." He stood, stretching. "You want me to stay?" I shook my head. "No, go ahead. I just need a minute, all right?" He said softly. "See you tomorrow, man." When his car drove off, the quiet felt heavier, but not unbearable. I unfolded Emma's letter again. The edges were smudged from my fingers. I read it one last time before setting it beside me. "You forgave me," I whispered, "but I can't forgive them." The words felt strange, not angry, just tired. I looked at the empty swing set in the yard, the one Dad built when I was 10. For the first time, I didn't feel the urge to fix anything. My phone buzzed an email from the bank, confirming the sale of the company's last property. The final piece of the Miller name was gone. I leaned back in the chair, exhaling slowly. "You sent me away to protect me," I said to the wind. "But all you did was break me." The trees whispered in reply. The kind of sound that makes you feel small, but alive. I thought about Emma, her laughter, her sketches, the way she used to trace my hand with her pencil. Somewhere out there, she was starting her new life. I wondered if she still drew. For the first time in years, I didn't feel the need to find out. The sun slipped lower, painting everything in gold. I watched it disappear, the same way she did, slow, beautiful, inevitable. I folded the letter carefully, placed it in the wooden box that once held all my unsent words, and locked it. That box had traveled from dorms to apartments to here. It was the only thing that ever stayed with me. I stood, walked to the edge of the porch, and looked out at the long, quiet street. Every crack in the pavement, every fence post, every whisper of the wind held a piece of the boy I used to be. But I wasn't him anymore. I didn't want revenge. I didn't want apologies. I just wanted peace, and for once, I wasn't chasing it. As the sky turned violet, I whispered to no one, "Goodbye, Emma." Then I stepped off the porch and walked down the road, leaving behind the ghosts of the life I thought I wanted. For the first time, I wasn't running from my past. I was walking away from it.